Perfect. So I teach high school, so I don't necessarily need the microphone, but thank you. And thank you, Bill, for bringing me here. Thank you for that nice introduction. The book, Voices from the Second Life, is an exploration of things people go through, things I have gone through. And it's been an attempt to capture some of the voices that may not necessarily be our own. So this first poem is called The Rain, and it's about freedom and how freedom might mean different things depending on who you are, how far up the power structure you are, and what you're looking at. Stop messing! Mama said that. Girl, get that head out them clouds and settle down. Grandma Henry said that. But I like the clouds. Marry Luther and get on out. He got his own farm, girl. He's strong. He a good man. You go on, be his wife and you be free. Free. I done it. But I don't feel free. I feel heavy. Not light like them crowds Grandma Henry set my head in. They're light and they float and they go where they want. I am a woman now, and I have come to know that being a woman ain't the same as being free. I got the stove and the wash and the little ones, and Lord, they keep coming with Luther on me all night. Luther, he trying. But I don't want to be married to no Luther with his whiskey breath and his hands all on me. He's strong, all right. His strength is everywhere, including my eye. And I want to be free. I want to marry the rain. Yes, I want to marry the rain and live in the clouds. Those same clouds Grandma Henry carry on about. The rain is clean. And I want to be clean. I'm a woman now, and I have come to know that being a woman ain't the same as being clean. But if I could marry the rain, he would wash me gently, each night, softly too. I want to marry the rain and wait for him coming every night as I see the love storm clouds roll in like the forecast of my soul. The wind can be his best man, and the thunder can walk me down the aisle with that boy, you better, you just, or else, look on its brow. In a rainbow, my maid of honor, all colors and a smile for everyone who chooses to come and see. I marry the rain every day, and I am free. At least till old Luther comes along, because I am a woman now. And I have come to know that being a woman ain't the same as being free. So the next one is sort of a reflection of the things that people that look like me learn when they're small children. And I actually was at the gym a year ago in the summertime, and I was watching all the George Floyd stuff happen in front of my face. And so this poem is called Arm Yourself. Arm yourself with knowledge was a phrase we heard over and over as small brown boys. Make sure that you know things, because that cannot be taken from you. So I did that. I filled my brain with things and learned as a black man in the great white world to walk with hands easy and empty and at my sides, unarmed as it were, with no threat there, nothing in them. But the thing I came to know is the temporariness of me. I know that each time I get into my car and drive might be my last time, and that I might be yanked from my property, like so much property, and blackface mashed into the blacktop, killed, much like a rabbit, or a dream. A mistaken identity, he should not have fought, they will sadly say, after my body has joined the always present, ever-growing stack of discarded bodies, black and stiff, on which this great country of ours has been built, and on which, indefensibly, it rests. So there's a sort of a theme here, and you can see it. So the next one is about how we try and fix these problems we have, but we're not sure. And often I come across people and they want to help, but they're not sure how to help, and they don't want to step on my feelings, and maybe I don't want to step on theirs, and so it's called the intersection. We strike a strange balance, circling each other warily, not wanting to look askance, but feeling the contempt held under your surface face. It's the thing you only let out at rallies. And we're at the intersection of black and white. You look up, sheepish. Do I fist bump? Hi. High five. As if the encounter is somehow accidental, as if Lady Luck had not the capture and the thrusting slave ship had brought us together, as if the world in which you place us for convenience could be shared, as if you had any intention of sharing. And we are at the intersection of free and not that, and we have fought your wars for you. We break bread, cautious, but it is only food, and see how well things are going. And you are glad to share the meal, but not the dessert of daughter, but I have already tasted that. And somehow you know. And we part with a vague promise of some time, and we are at the intersection of measuring as men do. And your wife throws out the plates later, because who knows? We study hard that junior year, and you read long but just don't get the gist, and we're in this together until the grades arrive and the eyebrows go up. And we are at the intersection of, you're pretty smart for, and you trail off, but we know the part unsaid. And after graduation, you will get the job anyway. And you drive your car, and I drive my car, after I prove that it is my car. And you know it was red and go, and I think it is yellow and go, and then the black and white rolls by. And we are at the intersection of safe on couch and face on pavement. And peace and harmony are made up words, but if you say them loud and often, they are louder than a man choking on blood, and besides, that show's coming on in a minute. And the next one is a specific message, and the title is Message to a Small Brown Girl, and she's not so small anymore. And I think as it evolved, it became a message for almost anyone who's sort of not doing stuff that they probably want to do. And so it might be a message for anyone, including myself. Do that thing that has had you hiding in corners, the thing you wish to try all this time, because why not? Be that thing you wanted to be as a child but abandoned due to fear or practicality. Dance that dance that you have been hiding with silenced hips, the one you wish to dance all this time, because why not? Be that dancer you want to be right now, but haven't been due to fear or a lack of grace. Wear that hair you have tortured into straightness, the way you wish to wear it all this time, because why not? Be that woman you want to be right now, but haven't dared due to the need to fit in. Lift those eyes that you have kept lowered, the ones you wish to raise all this time, because why not? Be the vision you want to be right now, because their blindness is not your concern, and it will never touch you ever again. So the next one is sort of a reflection of my journey. And it sort of starts in a place and it ends up in the place where I am now. But along the way, and I think if we're adults and I think if we've reached a certain age, we realize life is not always quite as advertised. Yeah. And so this one is called The Time and Place. It was the morning of my existence, and life was a whirl of things beyond the crib of my comprehension. I clutched the bars as mother entered, bringing with her a wash of winter air. I remember the metallic, tangy taste of her keys, cold yet comforting as I chewed them. And that was a time and place where simple sat, and fear had yet to visit. At 10 o'clock on Saturday, I approached the field. I had been up for hours, twisting and turning in the mirror eye, my uniform red and crispy white, the new cleat smelled everything in my nose as I pondered the goals I was sure to tally. Then team and huddle and coach's words to stretch unheeded in the pell-mell charge, all dirty face and strained thigh muscle like a scorpion under the skin. I did not score a goal, not one. And that was the time and the place where I learned that life was hard, and the pain of competition became my constant companion. Then rush for acceptance, and acceptance of rush, and proudly standing, shouting out the Sigma Chi house window, strong and brash and shirtless, and things were how I thought I wanted. But the peach was rotten from pit to skin and could not last, and out into the world of work and owing, and that was the time and the place where regret became my millstone, and shame the shoes I walked in. Sons born too quickly, and making up fatherhood as I go, and the classroom and the sports bar become refuge from the marriage prison, and car and music give ways to waves of responsibility, and pick up the boys, and make the dinner, and do the wash, and drown the sorrows. And that was the time and the place that trapped me in a spin cycle that left me somehow unclean. And the institution floor is cold, and the dizziness brings no pleasure, and the visitor with the face like mine is sad, and young man scared behind the bravery so big. And the world is big and turns without me, and the job is over, and the joy is over, and that was the time and the place that found me wanting. And joy restored, and gratitude first suggested and then embraced, and then the strong new order of the day. I do not have to do anything. I get to do everything. The thing I love is the thing I do, and the faces turn to me warm and shameless and ready for the things I teach, and my classroom is electric, and my grace returns. And for she, slight of limb and strong of spirit, across the ocean that parts us, I have loved her in my mind and dreams, and this is the time and the place in which I truly wish to be. One lives a life, a brown life or a queer life or a life that pushes. One lives in the spaces between and on the borders between right and self. The created world is full of can'ts and don'ts and facets of us that others cannot stand or touch or recognize. If there is a contact and an acknowledgement, it is usually a violent one, and it leaves blood and scars and diminishment beyond when it stalks off, leaving footprints of indignation that echo, how dare you be, down whitewashed hallways. Many of us live here and there and nowhere all at once. It is the world that has denied us places of fitting, and we have tried those places on and found them to be unsatisfactory. If an existence on the fringes and margins limits, it frees as well, and it offers a uniqueness and a power of imagining that allows those dwellers to travel roads of their own creation, melded and paved with the peculiar blacktop of the experiences of everywhere and nowhere all at once. The tar is black and hot and strong, and it sticks. There is need everywhere. It is the empty belly and the breath of the baby. It is the mark left by the whip. We are bearing it still. We are. There is proof and proving everywhere. It is the flashing light. It is the papers of identifying. It is my wife. It is the money made or taken. It is the mark left by the rope. We are bearing it still. We are. There is power everywhere. It is the fist under eye. It is the flag for some, but not for all. It is the rape of our women. It is the space left by the tongue torn out. We are bearing it still. We are. There is thunder everywhere. You have violated nature. It is the reckoning that is yet to come. It is the sound of marching feet. It is the raised fist. It is the mark left by the nightstick on the skull on the bridge. We are bearing it still. We are. There is shame everywhere. It is the blood that does not come. It is the whispered no, ignore. It is eat out back. It is boy. It is the mark left by the tear on cheek when we cannot read. We are bearing it still. We are. There is grace everywhere. It is the hand that gives the crust of bread. It is the colored child. It is the drum and the chant. It is the mark left by the crowns of our ancestors. We are bearing it still. We are. There are ghosts everywhere. There are. We are. And so the last one that I've brought is sort of an imaginary, and it was written right at the end, right before I put the collection together to publish the book, and I looked back And I realized that a lot of the poems were negative. And I think for good reason. But I am in a time and a place where I'm not there anymore. And so this imagination is for this time, X number of months down the road from today, when COVID is past, and we take some of the lessons we've learned and we figure it out. And it's called Gratitude Restored, and it's about that time when we come out and finally start acting as human beings are purported to act, as opposed to what we've been doing. And it's called Gratitude Restored. We have emerged, and we are not the same. For we have tasted the bitter root of real and pain and lack, and we have chewed it until our thoughts' jaw aches, and we have locked the door, and we have worn the mask that hides our vital self. And it is fine to pound the desk and raise the voice in language salt and stern, lamenting things we've lost, for that is what humans do. But what instead? To stop and breathe new breath and turn again to those on either side and smile and cry if cry we need, and hug if hug we need, we can and should, because that is also what humans do. And rejoice, the difference between I and you and they and all the different shapes we come in and souls we grow into, for we are not the same and need not be. But realize, as the dark time fades, that many of us are here to dream the dreams for those who aren't, and to be grateful and raise our tiny fist, for we are small indeed, and triumph in the knowledge that we will never take each other for granted again. So, as the laptops open once again and mathematics and science give order to the rhythm of the day, as the history teaches lessons and Shakespeare's iams bounce like drumbeats through our heads, let us remember who and what we lost. Let us rejoice in who and what we have, and raise ourselves, hearts pumping with needful joy. Let us revel deep in joys we once ignored. Let us hold each other close, our gratitude restored. Thanks.